Hi everyone, my name is Michael and today we're going to be looking at problem 28 from the sprint round of release 12514, which was our January 2025 middle school mathleague.org qualifying round. So let's go ahead and take a look. We have Xavier has 11 identical white blocks and 4 identical black blocks. He then uses all of the blocks to build 2 towers, each with at least 1 block, that are vertical stacks with a single block at each level. Given that the order in which he builds the towers does not matter, in how many ways can he do this? Now, the key thing to figure out here, right, is how many ways Xavier can divide the blocks and then build towers with them. Now, this is actually not as bad as it seems. And to start off, I'm just, instead of doing white and black, because white dots are insanely hard to see, I'm going to represent white blocks with the letter W and black blocks with the letter B. So we essentially just have, right, 11 white blocks. This is testing my counting skills right here, and 4 black blocks. And what we want to do, right, if Xavier were just building 1 tower, right, then essentially, right, the number of ways to do this would just be the number of ways to order 11 white blocks and 4 black blocks in some order, right? And that we can just do using combinations. Now, the way that we can do this for 2 towers is actually very similar, because we're just going to say that Xavier gets to order these blocks, right? Which we have a total of 11 plus 4 is 15 blocks. We have to choose 4 of them to be black, so that can be done in 15 choose 4 ways. But after ordering the blocks, Xavier then has to choose 1 point to divide that sequence of 15 blocks into 2 shorter sequences, each of which has at least 1 block, right? And by doing that, we've just created 2 towers. Everything to the left is the first tower, and everything to the right is the second tower. And because every arrangement, right, and every different place where we can divide the blocks will give us a different pair of towers, that essentially maps, right, onto all of the possible sets of towers that Xavier can build. Now, how many places are there where I can put this divider? The number of places where I can put this divider is actually 14, and you can count them, but essentially it cannot be outside, right, the blocks, because then I would have all the blocks in 1 tower, which is not okay. And there are 14 spaces that are in between the 15 blocks. Now, some of you may have caught this earlier, but note that I said sets of towers, right? Sets of towers. And a set, by definition, is unordered. And that's something that we have to be careful of here, because we're even told that we don't care the order that Xavier builds his towers. So, because having tower 1 then tower 2 is the same as having tower 2 then tower 1, which, by the way that you would get that is if you had the same order of 15 blocks in reverse and then picked the mirror image divider. Right. So if this were reversed, right, completely reversed, and then the divider were mirror imaged over, then you would get the same 2 towers, but tower 2 before tower 1, right? So we actually have to divide by 2 or multiply by 1/2 to account for that factor of overcounting. But once we do that, we now know exactly how many total sets of towers Xavier could build. 14 over 2 is 7, so I'm just going to put that there. 7 times 15 choose 4 is 14 times 13 times 15 times 14 times 13 times 12 over 4 factorial. And if we cancel all that out, we get 91 times 105, which is 91. That will come out as 9,555. Let me check that real quick. Yes. And so the number of ways in which Xavier can build his towers is 9,555, and that is our answer to this problem. I hope that was helpful, and thank you for watching this video.
This is Tim. Hope you're enjoying our videos. If so, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that sort of thing. But what I'd really want to invite you to do is to send us an email at media@mathleague.org. Tell us which problems you'd like to see us cover next in our video series. Take care and see you in the next video.